Mold. Mold and its function on cheese. Mold is actually a really important part of cheese making. When you make cheese, you're taking milk, you're adding something that's going to turn the liquid into a solid, and we call that rennet. It could be microbial, vegetable, or animal. And then when the cheese, you pour it out, you put it into a mold, and you generally salt it in some way. Either you dry salt it or you put it in a salt bath. And that starts the setting of the rind, and it's beginning so that the cheese can start aging. When you put the cheese into the cold storage or cave or aging room, there's a lot of humidity. The humidity is something that welcomes mold. It actually foments the growth of mold. And certain cheeses, like a Spanish cheese called Croatia, they leave the molds in the refrigerator because they want the rind to get filled with that mold. And those molds help determine the flavor and the character of the finished product. We don't always see it because the cheeses are generally like brushed off to made beautiful before they're shipped. But there's often that if you don't put a chemical agent on the rinds, it's going to start to grow again. Is your cheese bad if it has the mold? In my opinion, that shows your cheese is good. It shows you have a living, breathing organism that's not filled with chemicals. And well, you know, certain rinds you're not going to eat anyway, so you just wipe it off or you cut it off. And even if you want to eat the rind, that's, you know, kind of part of it. But if we go to the market and we buy an apple and the apple has a bruise, you don't return the apple. You try maybe not to buy it, but it might happen anyway. You cut around it. It's the same thing with the mold. If you don't like that moldy flavor and you don't want to eat it, you cut that rind off or you wipe it off. But it's something that shows that the cheese is alive. And there's not really a color of mold that is bad. There's only a brown, very hairy mold that we call cat hair, which is something we don't want to have. But if I've learned something in all of these years is I've seen every color of the rainbow mold. And I can't stress enough every single time that it should just be embraced and, you know, worked around. And it comes from me as a kid growing up with, you know, cream cheese that was green, and I immediately throw it away until learning that, well, cream cheese is not really cheese, it's melted everything else, to just cut around the spot of mold and keep going.